it is the beginning of summer, and what better way to kick off the beginning of summer than with a reading bookish day. But what is summer reading without a friend?
Hi guys.
I brought Haley with me, and we're not doing a 24-hour readathon, but we're doing a readathon where we just bookish and read and cozy and aesthetic and summer. And so that is what we are going to do. But first, we need to cozify and bookify our downstairs reading area.
Let's begin!
Reading space has now been complete, and it is cozified, and it looks whimsical, magical, beautiful, readable. Okay, so we did not film at the beginning of this day when we had started reading, and so we are starting with War D by Frida McFadden, and we only have 100 pages left, actually, and we've been reading all day in the pool, outside, in my room, etc., etc. But so, it's good so far. So far,
good.
I rated a 5-star so far, I think.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
We're going to talk about our feelings and stuff about this now, so if you don't want spoilers, I'm going to put the time that we stopped talking about it somewhere on the screen, and you can skip to it. So, give you a second to do that. Okay, so, what are your feelings first?
Okay, I hate, what's his face, Will. I'm so suspicious of Will. I feel like he's definitely using Amy. And we just got, well, not just got, but we're at the part where he, like, tries to get her to do the code, and I think he's just using her, and I think he's working with Sawyer. I think they're all working against Amy. That's my fault.
See, I kind of agree, just because there's so much working against her, but I love Will. And low-key kind of think that Will is my soulmate, and I want to see the best in him. But I know it's not going to happen. And I am pretty sure that Miguel and Cameron are probably dead.
Love Miguel, though. And love
he's
Mary
funny.
Cummings. What's her name?
Yes, so Mary, if you have read this book, Mary is, like, the crazy old lady who just sits and knits all day. But we don't know, like, how she acts up because they've just hinted at it, but we haven't actually seen it yet. Miguel's the dude that thinks that his dad is literally God, and is just a crazy funny guy.
And rubs jelly on himself.
and then Spider Dan. Spider Dan believes that he's Spider-Man, and whenever he uses his webs is when he pees.
Ow. Oh, I'm really curious to see Jade, her backstory.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why she's
There's been a lot of, like, alluding to Jade and her past, especially with how it relates to Amy, but we haven't really been given any answers. You look decapitated.
I know, my neck was like...
But yeah, so that's kind of where we're standing right now. There's a lot of things that we're missing right now, but there's a lot of good that's happening, and we're definitely intrigued, and I say we're going to probably finish this in one more sitting.
And I feel like we're getting to the part where it's going to be like the Frida McFadden twist.
Yeah, and it's going to be like one thing after another, and it just keeps snowballing.
And I'm ready for it. I'm so excited.
So we're going to finish reading this one. We'll probably go outside, put on a campfire, roast some s'mores, and then we'll come back and we'll begin another book. Don't know what it will be yet, but we'll start something else. And yeah, see you then.
finished Word D. 5 out of 5 stars
For both of us.
for both of us. As you know, I did not trust Will.
Will was good. I love Will. Will is my soulmate.
Okay, but the epilogue, though, like the very ending of the epilogue, crazy,
Insane.
insane, in the membrane.
I'm inserting that song in this.
Anyways, but overall thoughts, writing, so good. Her fast-paced writing, it was, like, good, but not too quick. Like, I felt like I was able to be immersed in the story, but, like, still be able to, like...
It was very even pacing.
Yes. And I feel like the characters were really well written, and they had interesting storylines, like with Amy and her.
Mhm. And even though you didn't get to know a lot of the patients in the ward a lot, you had connections to them and, like, felt for them.
Freaking... What's her name?
Mary.
Mary. Almost a nanny.
Nanny.
Or mammy.
No, but it was a very good book, and I highly recommend it. And Haley even said this when we were outside, that it is going to be Roman Empire for a long time.
I have a splinter on my finger.
Anyway, so now that that's done, we are watching old Lorex videos because, you know, going back to our roots. And I am going to be reading How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories.
And where is it? I'm going to be reading Swift and Saddle.
And that's what we're going to be doing for the next while. So, till later. Peace.
Going longer on these mediums than the start.
She fell asleep.
I did.
No further investigation.
And so now
That's
it's
a load of
morning.
science turn.
And we're watching
Racing incident.
the Imola Grand Prix. So,
Here we go then.
last night,
Caparello once
she
more.
kind of just went to bed. She did a little bit of... Where's your other
Lance
book?
Stroll defending on
I
the
had a little bit of
inside,
reading this
both with
morning,
Mercedes
but I only got to
Pavilions
page
in the back. One the works team, one the
28.
customer, and it works.
And then
Against
last night I ended up reading and finishing this one.
But
And
now,
it
further
just...
behind, he'll have to focus on Hulkenberg. He's right behind him.
It was whatever.
Alonso was doing-
It wasn't
trying to do Stroll favouring, giving him the
good,
DRS
but
as
it
well.
wasn't bad. It was just kind of like a
Russell around
filler.
the outside.
But now, I think I'm going to read this one just for kicks and giggles. And, yeah.
And I'm either going to continue with this, the Swift and Saddle, or start the Cellar. Just because I'm not really feeling this. But we'll see.
That's kind of where we're standing at the moment. So...
It's a couple days later, and we both finished our books that we started at the readathon, but separately. So I read The Cellar. I hated it. I got to page 293, and I couldn't do it. I hated it. I hate the writing. I hated the characters, and so I just skimmed the end, and I gave it 2 stars. I was hopeful. I really wanted to like it, and I hated it. I was bored. I got a headache. I was just, it felt like the book should have ended 100 pages ago. So it kind of sucked after reading Ward D, just because it was such a high reading that. But anyways, and she had a similar experience.
Yeah, so I read Ugly Love. Yes, it was Colleen Hoover. Yes, I understand why people hate on her and her books now. So the beginning of it, I really liked. I liked it a lot. But then once the characters started developing their relationship, and it wasn't really a relationship, it was just for beneficial, and then they were making fun of their newborn baby, and literally 2 seconds later, he died. No. I gave
Yeah.
it a 2-star.
See, my thing with Colleen Hoover is I've only read Verity. That's the only book I've read by her. And I like to keep it that way. Like, I think, because I really liked Verity, but I don't think I could read any of her other books. So,
There's good parts in her books, but she very much romanticizes, like, abuse and non-relationship relations.
yeah.
But, yeah.
So,
So those are our thoughts. So in all, we both read War D. She read The Cellar, and I read Ugly Love and How the King of Elfame Learned to Hate Stories. And yeah, so.
and now I'm currently reading Swift and Saddle.
And I'm reading Dreamless. Okay, and that's it. That's the end for our reading vlog, part 1 of summer.
More to come. Bye.